Hey guys, so I'm always getting asked stuff like how much can I drop each week, what's a safe amount, and stuff like this. So I'm going to quickly try and explain this today. I'm going to start over here. So first up you can base it off your body fat percentage. So the more body fat somebody has, the more they can lose each week. The max safe amount is always about 1%. As you can see here, as the body fat goes down, that amount you can lose each week goes down as well. But the one I actually like to use here is body weight. So we base that on total body weight, and again the max amount is 1%, and as the body weight starts going down it becomes less and less and less. So again, this is in pounds, and if somebody is more of a stones person, just divide that by 14 and that will give you the amount that is the amount you can drop each week. And it's really key to kind of stay within these ranges for a number of reasons. One is because it's sustainable and it's really important. So there's a thing called metabolic compensation, and the harder we press on the body, the harder the body presses back. So if we go outside of these ranges, like when you hear somebody saying, oh, it's 5 pounds this week or it dropped 7 pounds, this is totally unsustainable and the body's going to fight back really hard against it. There's also the fact that the more we drop each week, the more chance there is we're going to lose things like muscle. And this is really key, because if you lose that, everything slows down, and then you don't end up getting that nice figure at the end of it, but the amount of calories it will take to keep you alive each day will also go down, which means it's much more likely that you're going to end up putting it all back on afterwards. So yeah, these ranges are key because it means it's safe and it's also sustainable. It's something you can do for the long term and keep off permanently. Here's just a quick little example of, say a girl is 250 pounds starting out and her goal is to get to 170. It's going to take a minimum of 36 weeks, and that's based on everything going perfectly. When's the last time everything went perfectly in life? So I realistically would say to somebody in that situation, it's going to take about a year. So it's really key to have a look at all of these, work out what's the right for you, and then set realistic and manageable goals that we can keep long term. Again, remember, this is about keeping it permanent as well. Over here then is a little chart which kind of is really good visual explanation of what's going on. So the green line is what we all expect when we start out, because obviously motivation is really high. We completely overestimate how well we're going to do and how easy it's going to be. We think everything's going to go great, but that is not what happens. This is what actually would happen with the body. Now this again is based on, remember, as we drop weight, the amount that can be dropped each week also goes down. This is based on everything going absolutely perfectly as well. So it'll be a big drop and then it just starts to even out. The reality actually is this one here. So this pink one is what the scales would say and what really goes on. So you kind of have sudden drops and then stalls and whooshes, and it goes up and down and all over the place. And there's a number of factors affecting this. So physiological factors, psychological, and then life. Well, physiological stuff like stress, hormones, the type of foods we eat, these are all going to play a massive role in it. Then we have psychological reasons, so like behavioural habits, emotional eating patterns, just general bad habits in general, and also things like confidence, self-esteem. All these types of things will have an influence on our results and what happens. Then we have life. Life just gets in the way. There's always going to be parties, social events, and all types of things that are going to put it looking a lot more like this as opposed to this. And by understanding these things and taking them into account, it makes it much easier, because girls are highly motivated by results. And that's what I always hear from all the girls that sign up with me, is that I'm really motivated when I'm getting results. And the problem can be then, if we're expecting this, it will greatly affect the motivation. By understanding all of this stuff that's going on here, it means we'll be able to keep the motivation high, because we know what's coming and we know what to expect. And lastly, this purple one here is actually a client. So this is what happened with her, and as you can see, it's the most squiggly one of all. I couldn't have made it any more squiggly if I tried, because it was all over the place. The good thing is it's constantly going down, but if she had been expecting this, she could have quit or given up way back here, as opposed to now she's down here. So yeah, that's it, girls. It's really important to take all these things into consideration. If there's anything you want to know in more detail about this, just stick it in the comment section below or give me a shout. Cool. See ya.